Welcome to the Fashion Translator. I'm Claire, your host. Together we explore how AI and innovation are reshaping the fashion industry through creativity, technology, and global partnership. For today's episode, I'm thrilled to welcome Angeline Hayling, founder of IslandTribe, a visionary brand weaving together sustainability, soulful design, and global influence. Angeline, welcome to the show. Please introduce yourself for our listeners.
Hello, Claire, and thank you so much for having me here. My name is Angeline Hayling, and I'm the co-founder and designer of Island Tribe. Island Tribe is a sustainable fashion brand based in Southern California, LA, Palm Springs, and our business has been, I would say, more than just a fashion brand. It's more of a lifestyle. Our ethos are sustainability, where we use a lot of natural and organic, biodegradable fabrics. Our ethos are also based on craftsmanship. I like to consider myself a global citizen. So being inspired by all these world travels, whether it's in, Europe or India, Bali, Mexico, all these different places where we've done production or traveled over the years, you can see those influences in our designs, which really helps us to connect to our community, people that really value travel and eco-consciousness and having timeless pieces rather than fast and disposable fashion. So we're also big on community. Our brand, we have a lot of different activations, whether that's within our community here in Palm Springs or LA. We love connecting wherever we're based because this is what fashion is about. It's about bringing together like minds who have like passion for people, for the earth, for the planet. So it's a lifestyle that embodies not only sustainable fashion in terms of what you're wearing, but also human sustainability. How am I feeling when I'm wearing these clothes? What can I wear to amplify my vibrations? So it's a lifestyle that goes beyond what you just wear, but also being mindful of everything that you wear, that you consume, where you are, and that being part of your way of life. So in a nutshell, that's it in terms of, myself and the brand.
Tell us a bit more about the part where fashion comes into play by connecting all of these aspects that you mentioned. If it's travels and community, what's the role of fashion in this in what inspired you to start this brand?
Fashion is an outlet of artistry, and we all are creative human beings. You are also a designer. And so, when you're in that creative space, you're not just limited to fabric being your canvas. Whether you're styling your boutique or you're styling a pop up show, ensuring that your aesthetics also travels into these different containers wherever you
Spares, yeah.
vibrate. So fashion is not only about I'm going to an event and I need a beautiful attire. Fashion is the confidence, to bring those pieces alive. And there are many of us out there just roaming around, that love fashion as a sense of art. When you
Yeah.
wake up in the morning feeling maybe to be cozy chic today. So I might wear an oversized kaftan over denim. But then some days maybe I feel like, I want to be having a more structured look. So I wear a tailored jacket. So fashion is about how it amplifies my day, how it connects us. And then how community weaves itself into that. Fashion needs a community. You have a production team, you have your marketing team, you have your, whether that's press, you cannot build a brand solely by yourself. It takes a community to bring a garment from fabric into the runways, into the boutiques, into the, until it gets to your back. It's a journey. So that's
Yeah.
what community is all about in terms
Yeah,
of it being linked to fashion.
when it comes to your brand, I feel like the storytelling is very strong and the context of it is much bigger than just the garment, like you mentioned. And when you're wearing a piece of clothing that has this much story, this much soul, it definitely impacts how you feel when you wear it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you feel like, I'm wearing something that embodies nature. Nature is such a big, even before sustainability became
Mm.
such a trending issue. Island Tribe brand has been around for over a decade now. 10 years ago, when we were talking about using organic fabrics that
Mm.
vibrates with you or makes you feel cooler when it's hot or warmer when it was like we were speaking another language. But now,
Yeah.
with more talks about it and it being infused into many brands out there, these are now conversational topics. But we're expert in this field because this is how we
Yeah.
started. It has been part of our DNA. And it's not a trend. This is who Island Tribe is and will always be. And then when you have the DNA of natural fabrics, then you embellish it, whether that's a natural seashell or open stitching, or maybe doing an embroidery of something that shows a story or tells a story. So yeah, if that answers the question.
It does. Tell us a bit more about what it means for your sustainability, conscious design when it comes to in relation to today's world. How do you approach it with your customer, and how do you see the place of sustainability really growing in comparison to the fast-paced demand?
So for us, anyone that came into contact with Island Tribe, this is not a new venture or a new chapter. So if you are
Mm.
already within our circles, this is what Island Tribe stands for. So it's just a reminder, hey, we've been in this game. We understand, the whole circle of fashion, and that has always been part of us. So it's just about reminding our customers and continue to tell that story in our authentic way. And to each its own. There are a lot of different
Yeah.
podcasts and different topics on fast fashion. We embrace slow fashion, and that is what we're experts in. And I can stand confidently and speak about what it means to create using organic fabrics, what it means to make in small batches rather than filling a warehouse with inventory and hoping that it sells. And if it doesn't, then it's discounted. I can tell you that producing locally where you know who your makers are, whether that's locally here in LA or whether it's in Bali or Mexico, we know who's behind the machine sewing our clothes. So for us, it's just about storytelling in an
Mm.
authentic way with the channels that we have and staying true to who we are. This is not a trend, this is a lifestyle.
I think we can say that because this is such a strong part of your brand DNA that it's very aligned for you to just attract the customer that do identify and do align with this vision already.
Absolutely. If we're at an event, like if we're at a trade show or a runway show or a pop-up event, you can just tell is you don't even have to like, okay, I need to see if this is polyester versus organic cotton. It oozes out of everything that we do in terms of our layout, using very earthy tones that calms you down. So whether you walk
Yeah.
into our boutique or a showroom or a pop-up that we're having, just by entering into that
Yeah, you
space,
feel
you can
already.
already feel the
Yeah.
calm sensation. And you're like, okay, now tell me about this garment. So sometimes the clothing is the last dot in the connected field because the
Yeah.
brand already has this vibration that attracts like-minded
Yes.
people, people that are interested in organic lifestyle, ensuring who made the clothes that I wear? What am I putting on my body? And then it goes beyond clothes. People that are into this
Yeah.
lifestyle, very mindful about what they eat, mindful about infusing movements into their body. So you will notice our clothes are very flowy or not very constricted. You can dance, you can do yoga stretches, whether during the day and you need to calm down, and do an asana wherever you are. It's just part of that lifestyle of conscious living, being mindful of everything that you consume, that you wear, that you breathe. It's just a total way of being.
Mm. I think that the people that are into this wellness and into this more holistic lifestyle, once they get in touch with your brand, they'll be able to already feel connected. It will feel home for them.
Yes, just like, for example, if you're in Paris, the minute you're in Paris, it's a certain vibe, a certain energy, you know what I mean? You go to Bali, it's a certain, everything that's living, including clothing, has an energy, and that is what attracts
Yes.
consumers. They're a brand, and it's the energy of Island Tribe that connects us to our consumer. It's that force, it's that being, it's that thing that you really cannot pinpoint, but it's like, why do I feel this way when I wear this?
Yeah.
But why do I feel this way by, I drink this? Or it's all about the love and the intention that goes into creating, and it passes along. It's not a woo-woo thing.
No.
Living things need intention, needs life, needs love to pass that on to you, to the end user, to the end wearer.
Yeah, that is beautiful and very true. If we're keeping in that line, spiritual gathering and festival seems to be intertwined also if we think about this notion of lifestyle. How have those experiences participate in shaping your brand, and how is this? Tell us a bit more about your customer community, because when you spoke about community, you mentioned your team, your suppliers, and that's beautiful, but it's not where the community stops. You have the customer community as well.
Mhm. So, yeah, good question. So, the thing about being a conscious being or a conscious consumer, there's certain values or certain pillars in life that you embrace, right? You're very
Yes.
mindful about, okay, for any living thing to thrive, it needs water, it needs food, it needs movement, it needs nature, it needs the sun. So, for a brand that embraces that, your lifestyle is very much embedded into your brand. So
Mm.
the aspects of wellness, that's already within the culture of Island Tribe. As a
Yeah.
designer myself, that is the life that I live. I get up in the morning, I need the sun, I need to move my body, I need to set my
Yeah.
intentions for the day. So that is
Yeah.
applied to your culture and your organization. You invite your staff also to be part of this, whether that's having an intention circle or a prayer circle, and then that is passed on to your production team by the way you treat your workers
Yes.
and the way you treat your
Yes.
consumers. So then, if we're having an event where this is already our lifestyle, it's
Yeah.
nothing extraordinary if you want to have movements or do yoga or have a intimate circle. It's just infusing your lifestyle into your brand because it's
Yeah.
already a way of living. So it's not really per se like an activation. This is part of our culture,
It's an
it's a way of
extension.
life. Yes, it's an extension. It's an extension of who you are into the brand. So the events that we do, we welcome that culture. And that is how you attract like-minded people because okay, I dig this lifestyle, let me
Yeah.
check this out. Okay, if these are the values that I also encourage, I want to be part of that. And even if you never get a chance to maybe wear an Island Tribe piece, but you had the ability to walk into a space and just feel calm and
Yeah.
feel loved and embraced and empowered, that is being part of the brand. It's not
It
only
is.
about yeah,
Yeah.
a commodity. It's just about an energy exchange. So that is where lifestyle flows into the DNA of a brand. It's not something that's forced. It's not a
No.
trend. It's a way of being.
Like it's a connection that happens.
Exactly.
So, Angeline, your brand has been featured in outlets like Vogue and Forbes. It's quite impressive. Tell us a bit more about how these collaboration or other defining moments have helped your brand expansion and visibility.
Okay, great. That's a very good question. You're in fashion, you're a designer, so you know how important it is that press and PR goes in sharing what you're doing to a
Yes.
wider audience. And that's the beauty of featured in establishments like Forbes or Vogue or Women's Wear Daily. It allows you to share what you're doing to a wider audience. And that is always great because, especially when you're an independent brand and you're
Mhm.
out in this ocean of the big brands, small brands, medium brands, it's
Yeah.
just like, hey, there's a brand that's doing really cool stuff here. You should know about them. So, all of
Mhm.
these features I would say, are building blocks. No one feature can really define you. It's an accumulation of good work being
Yeah.
told over the years that really brings about credibility about what you're doing, to emphasize, okay, this is authentic, and sharing it to a broader audience. So all of these features, they're great.
Mm.
Accolades are great to say, okay, hey, this brand is doing something that is impactful within the fashion world. But there isn't just like, okay, one feature that caused you to just, you know what
Yeah.
I mean, conquer the world. You
It's
have
a
to
broader
just continue.
picture. Yeah.
Exactly. Continue to do your work. Great.
Yeah.
Consistency, discipline. And then when the press comes and they tell your story and the
Yeah.
consumer gets introduced to your brand or reintroduced to the brand, it's like, okay, I'm interested in this brand and what they've been doing over the years. So it's
Yeah.
just that with life, there isn't one door, one opportunity that just creates this big, it's a little steps, one feature here, a podcast here. You're
Yeah.
just telling your story. So these are all great. And I always like to emphasize to whether it's my fashion students or people that I speak with, you just continue to do good work,
Yeah.
and with the right intention, the right press feature, the right interviews will come along, and you just continue to tell your story. But you cannot be just waiting on accolades to reinforce the work that you do, that that is pretty awesome. You continue to be consistent and disciplined and continue to work, and always have your consumer at the forefront of what you're doing. And that is where success lies. It's not only in the press features, but
Yeah.
in continuing to be consistent about your messaging and your ethos. That is where the big win is.
And I think what's beautiful about approaching it this way is that when you're so strong about your why and your context and your mission, you're
Mhm.
not receiving this opportunity from a place of needing validation or lack. You're
Mhm.
receiving them from a
Mhm.
place of gratitude. And it's just like,
Mhm.
wow, I'm on the right path. And then you can amplify this and just take this to the
Yes.
next level of gratitude rather than, do they like me? Do I need,
Yes.
it's such a different angle and it shows. And then after, the impact can only compound and amplify when it's received in the right
Yes.
mindset. Yeah.
100%. I mean, I couldn't say it better myself. These should be momentums and milestone of gratitude rather than this is my defining point, so that you're not on the beck and call of other
Mm.
people's opinion of what you're doing. If you're so strong, and I'm putting in the work and the brand is received well, and I have community that values what we do, and you can see the transformation over the
Yeah.
years and the growth, that is the win. So you said that beautiful.
It's really a perspective that we can agree on for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Fashion comes with this false narrative that it's about the runway and the press and the cameras and that's just a very small percentage of the journey. The journey
Correct.
and the real, I don't like to use the word grind, but the real work is behind
Mm.
the scenes. What's
Yeah.
going on in production? How can we improve quality? How can we outreach to a new market? How do you keep your consumers coming back? How do you stay true to yourself when you may create a piece that is duplicated before you even put it out there? How do you
Correct.
stay grounded when maybe a buyer is interested and they're like, well, we're no longer interested at this moment. And now you have to switch gears. You have to first be
Yeah.
strong, resilient as a designer first, and then these values can be passed on to your staff, onto your community, because it's all a journey and it's not a destination. It's a journey,
Yes.
and you have to learn to embrace that.
When it comes to running your business, what has most of your focus right now?
Our focus right now, we're in a very turbulent economy space right now. There's so much happening in the world, so many changes, whether that's with tariffs, whether that's with the community the culture right now, you know. So
Yes,
we're in
yes.
a very, I don't know how it is in Dubai out there, and maybe you can share that after, you know, what
Mm-hmm.
the whole, what's the vibe, what's the frequency right now. So we're in a very, a lot of uncertainty and a lot
Mm-hmm.
of change. So
Okay.
during times like this is consistency, staying true to our values, staying true to our ethos in these times that are very uncertain, because then you know you figure some things out after 10 years, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Anything that
yeah,
you dedicate 10 years to, you're like, okay, this has worked before, this hasn't worked, so just
yeah.
playing around, you know, the pillars of what you built, that's our focus right now. So we have a new collection that's coming out, and the style of that collection is very much our aesthetics, very free, very flowy, natural fabrics, of course. And we're playing back to just the days of that California laid back feel, you know, with
Mm-hmm.
that, the global aspect of it in terms of maybe having a stitching or embroidery. So during times like this, is to stay consistent, stay focused. You know, there's a lot of noise all around us all the time, and tuning those out, focusing on building and staying consistent to what you do. And for Island Tribe, consistency means quality control, having community events, and showing up with good vibrations into with every aspect of what we do. So focus, tuning out the noise, and staying true to your values and your ethos in times of uncertainty is what keeps you going. And being easy on yourself as well. You
Yeah.
know,
This I couldn't
brand
agree
is,
more. Yeah,
yeah, a brand is a living thing. So you
yeah,
as a creative or a designer have your outlets of renewal, whether you're
yeah.
retreating in nature or you're just creating for the love of it and spending time with people or places that inspire you, kind of building up your resilience for the good days and for the bad days.
Yes, I think that's very true. And if we think of the next 5 year, what's maybe a product category or a venture or market that you're looking to expand on?
I mean, honestly, just organically growing. We've mastered over the years and merging the full lifestyle of Island Tribe, maybe having different locations or even dabbling in international activations. We've explored a lot of different avenues here, whether that's New York Fashion Week, Miami Fashion Week, doing
Mm-hmm.
stuff in LA. So it'd be nice maybe to do something in Paris or maybe even Dubai. I've
Why
personally been
not?
in Dubai a few times, but it'll be great to do global activations now, bringing that
Yeah.
energy and that vibration to other markets out there. So that will be fun, just organically growing, doing what's within your reach, and just continuing to be authentic and storytelling and having fun along the way. You know, this journey is short. You know, you got
It,
one life to live. So you got to
correct.
have fun. Yes.
The fun is the part we tend to, it's easy to forget, but it's what makes it alive and it's the soul of what we do
Of
to, to,
course, you
to
know,
keep the joy in it.
to keep the joy in it. I love that. You know, as we all get sucked into mastering our craft, we lose the joy, and we shouldn't lose that curiosity. We shouldn't lose that fun, because that is what is going to ooze out of your designs and ooze out of your garments and ooze out
Yeah.
of your events than it just being a thing, bringing life into every aspect of what you do, yourself, your staff, your team, your clothing. And I love the word joy. You know, just saying joy
It's a
makes you
powerful word.
smile. It
It does.
is.
It
And it's
does.
so rare. It's, you hardly hear the word joy anymore.
Not
So
often
that should
enough.
be the, yes. So that should be the word of our podcast. The joy
Yes.
in fashion. Bring back the
Let's
joy of
make
it
it,
all.
yeah, let's make it the word of the podcast and the word of the day. We take it with us for the rest of our day.
Okay, I got it. Joy, joy, joy. You can
Yes,
sing it
yes,
as
that's
well.
our word. Well, Angeline, I can tell there's a lot of exciting things for you coming in the future and for your brand. What you're doing is beautiful from the inside out. For our listeners who want to connect, there'll be, of course, the website and all the handle connected in the description. Angeline, thank you so much for joining me. It was a joy.
Thank you. It was a joy as well. And may that joy vibrate to everyone who's listening right
Yes.
now.
Yes,
And
we'll share it.
yes, continue to have a blessed new journey filled with joy, filled with just good vibrations. Thank you, Claire, for having us today, and have a wonderful day.
My pleasure.